Hello, my name is MD Danim Khan. This video represents the prototype developed for my dissertation, which is named A Comparative Evaluation of Dashboard and Narrative Avatar Interfaces for Personal Health Data Interpretation, Engagement, and Trust. This project explores whether an avatar-led narrative-based health interface can improve interpretability, engagement, trust, compared with more conventional dashboard-style presentation. Importantly, both conditions use same underlying data and deterministic logic. The differences lies in how the information is presented to the user. Now we will log in with one of the user I had as a demo user, and now we'll click in here. As we are supposed to jump into the home page of the prototype, but I would like to pause and show the code of how it's working. The link of this GitHub can be found also in the dissertation body in the appendix, where I have given the link of the prototype video, which is uploaded on YouTube as well. So first we will see the main file here, which is app.tsx, and which is necessary for the app to run perfectly. So these are all the inputs, and this is the file which defines the overall application flow, including the authentication screens, protected main applications, screens such as dashboard, daily log, analytics, settings, and avatar setup. It is the entry point that connects the main user journey together. The next file I want to show is health and well-being information, including steps, sleep, mood, energy, and stress. This screen is important because it is the main interaction point where the user provides daily data that drives the rest of the prototype. Now I want to show the daily log TS. Here I'm showing the backend route that receives the daily log submission. This route validates the incoming data, normalizes the data, stores the daily health and mood records together in MongoDB. This ensures that the user daily log is saved in a structured and consistent way. Here we can see, and this is the function that is handling. And another file, which is the health entry and mood entry. So that's two different files, but I want to show here at least one of them, which is the health entry. These two files define the database schema for the prototype, the mood entry and the health entry TS. This stores physical health related values, and another one stores the emotional and psychological input, like such as steps, sleep, heart rate, energy score, and mood, energy, and stress level. Together, these schemas define how user data is presented and persisted in the MongoDB Atlas. Now I want to show another file, which is the dashboard, and this file shows how the app reads and presents the stored user data. This TSX loads the user's current daily values from backend and displays them as live health metrics on main dashboard. This part of the prototype gives the user quick snapshot of their daily state of the day. So these are the functions that I'm working with. There's so many. And the next one I want to show is the digital avatar.tsx, and in this one I'm showing the the logic of the digital twin. It is the front end or component that displays the user's avatar or state-based media, and the avatar TS, there is another one that is the backend route of the that determines the avatar state based on the user's logged health and mood. This is the one, and the main personalized feature of the prototype is this one, because it links the user's health scenario to a dynamic visual representation. And I think that's enough for showing the GitHub. Now we will jump into the home screen of the actual prototype. Thank you. So this is my main home screen of the prototype. At this point, no health data has been logged yet, so the system displays an empty starting state. As you can see, it says no daily log vitals found for today. Log daily vitals first. So the avatar is visible, but the interface clearly indicates that daily vitals still needs to be entered. From this home screen, the user can access the core functions of the system, including daily logging, future prediction, analytics, scenario exploration, weekly reporting, achievements, and settings. This layout was designed to make the prototype feel like a complete navigable system rather than a collection of disconnected pages. So now I will open and demonstrate daily logging flow, which is the main input mechanism of the prototype. This is where the user enters a small set of health and well-being signs that drive the rest of the system. And here we go. So now the daily log demo log is divided into three short sections: physical activity, sleep, and mood. This keeps the interaction lightweight, easy to flow. In the physical activity section, the user records movement based on information. In this example, I'm entering 8500 steps, an active minute of, let's say, 30. And this value contributes to the daily overall behavior interpretation. The aim here is not to collect a large volume of data, but rather than a small meaningful set of indicators that can be interpreted consistently across the prototype. And now I will move into the next section, which is sleep. And sleep is important within the prototype because it influences both current daily state and the longer term trends shown elsewhere in the system. In this demonstration, I will try to enter a reasonable sleeping amount, which is, let's say, 7.5. This value then combined with physical activity mood related inputs to produce the overall interpretation. The final section that captures mood and self-reported well-being is the mood. And in this example, the mood is set to happy. The energy level, I will set it to 7 out of 10. And the stress level, let's say 4, 4, yeah, 4. Yeah. This design keeps the logging process simple while still giving the system enough information to generate meaningful output. Rather than requiring a long questionnaire, the prototype uses a small number of focus signals to support interpretability and ease of use. And now I will save it. And now we can see. So right now I'm using just a random numbers of heart rate because there is no digital device connected to it. So when I save and return to the updated home screen, once the daily data is saved, the system updates the user's state across the application. Now the home screen refreshes and the avatar reflects interpreted daily state. The live metrics are also populated using newly entered data and includes steps, sleep, and energy. This is one of the key ideas behind the prototype, transforming raw daily input into more understandable health snapshots. At this point, I want to highlight the key design principle of this dissertation. Both interface conditions use same underlying data and deterministic logic. The difference lies in how the information is presented to the user. Now I will jump into my user profile here and I will try to seed 7 days of demo data to populate the sample health data, because right now I have only 1 day data from a user, but I will need 7 days of data to analyze a few things that I will show it in future. So this is the button I'm using. So if I press in here, it will give you a notification, 7 days data seeded, check weekly summary and analytics. And now we will carry on. Now we'll go back and jump into our home screen, and now I will show you the feature which is future you. So when we click into future you, it has already summarized our 7 days data which has been seeded, and here we can see the informations that the seeded data gave us. The future you page combines the dominant recent state and the current state and a projected future state. In this way, the system doesn't only show a single day result but also attempts to identify a broader trend if the current pattern continues. The trait distribution below adds a simple visual summary of how frequently different states have appeared. This supports the dissertation's focus on interpretability by turning repeated daily signals into a clear visual overview or a behavioral overview. Now I will jump into the analytic part of my dissertation, which is here. And the top of my analytics, you can see it says from MongoDB Atlas. So it is the database that I have integrated while making this prototype. And at the top of this page, the system represents a weekly snapshot using average values for sleep, steps, energy, and stress. It also shows a mood and avatar state distribution, summarizing how often different states occurred across the tracked period of time. Now, as I scroll down, the prototype displays the trend charts for sleep, energy, steps, and stress over the time. This is useful for the users who prefer a more traditional analytic view based on graphs and numerical summaries. Scrolling further, the correlation insights. Further down, the correlation insights section represents directional relationships between variables such as sleep versus energy or steps versus energy. These are presented as interpretive insights rather than medical conclusions. The lower part of the page includes consistency score, data confidence, actionable recommendations, key insights. Together, these elements create a structured dashboard style presentation of the same underlying data. This page is especially important because this serves as the comparison condition against the avatar-led and narrative-based views. Now we will go back. Now we will jump into the next feature that we have, which is a scenario explorer, which is named here as what if scenarios, the predictions. This feature allows users to hypothetically test their lifestyle changes and see how those changes may affect the prediction outcome. At the top, the system displays the current scenario state using the avatar. This includes a why this state explanation, and the explanation is here. So if I zoom in a bit, then you will be happily able to read it. Rather than only showing the outcome, the system also explains why the outcome was produced. Below this, you can adjust the values such as daily steps, nightly sleep. This allows user to ask a what if question, such as what might happen if sleep increased or the activity became more stable. Scrolling down further, the page includes feasibility guardrails, based a baseline versus scenario comparison, and a simple forecast view. This makes the feature useful not only for display but also for reflection and planning. Now I will go back and show another feature, which is here as a weekly summary. This page represents recent behavior in a more narrative and avatar-led format. At the top of this avatar is combined with a written weekly interpretation instead of relying mainly on charts and the reports explaining the week in a plain language, referring to patterns in energy, sleep, activity, and possible areas for improvement. The key highlights below then summarize the important weekly signals. This page reflects on the central ideas of the dissertation, that the same data may become easier to understand when communicated in a human readable and understandable way. Now, here we have all the data that we got from the seeded data that we did before. Now I will go back and I will jump into a weekly analysis, which is the last option here, and it says powered by Gemini AI. This screen provides a weekly review, several improvement tips, and short future-oriented reflection. This moves beyond raw measurement and offers more direct feedback in natural language while still being framed as general wellness guidance rather than medical advice. Within the dissertation, this helps demonstrate how guidance-oriented presentation can shape the user experience differently from a purely metric-driven dashboard. And now we will go back and show another feature of our dissertation, which will be the achievement section. This feature adds a lightweight motivational layer through milestones and streaks. Although it is not the main focus of my dissertation, it supports engagement by rewarding continued interaction with the system. And now we will go back and show the settings page once more, just so the viewer knows that where we got all the data from again, which is this in here, seeded 7 days demo. And the reason we did it, because it was, as we had a small number of participants, it was a bit impractical to take all their 7 days data, as it was done anonymously. So I have created this demo so that we can populate the database. Now we can go back, and in conclusion, right now this prototype demonstrates a complete health tracking experience built around two presentation styles: a conventional analytics based dashboard and a more avatar-led narrative form of understanding. The key contribution of the project is that both conditions rely on the same data and deterministic logic, allowing the comparison to focus on how presentation style affects understanding, engagement, and trust on the system. Overall, the prototype was designed to explore whether personal health information can be made more interpretable and meaningful through interface design. Thank you for watching. This was Tanim, And thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you.